What is up, my riders? So I wanted to make this video especially today because I feel like my main purpose has been to be able to talk about my experiences and share them with you guys on here. Again, something crazy has happened that I never thought would happen. So I've really, jumping back to kind of an explanation, I've really been quite nervous to go to the doctor for a while with mental health and stuff. I'm always like scared that they're just gonna push it on me and try to bump me up to the next level of milligrams of my antidepressant and stuff, and I hate feeling like numb and I hate feeling like really bad on this stuff. So I was really nervous, but I had to go because I have a med check and I haven't been there in 2 years because I've been so scared to go. So I have this doctor, and I want to actually say his first name. I don't really like want to put him on social media because I don't know if that's something he would want. But I just want to thank him, Scott. He had me in today, and I pretty much just like told him everything that's been going on and then how I've been finding God in my life and finding crazy like coincidence and all this stuff. And I'm like, in my head, I kept thinking, I'm like, I'm going to tell him this and he's going to think I'm crazy and write me like a prescription for something like hard. And this whole time I'm talking to him, he's just like smiling and he seemed really happy, and he goes, well, first off, just because we're doctors doesn't mean that we have a different viewpoint. He's like, there's actually a lot of doctors at the place that I go that are devoted Christians. And that kind of brought a weight off my shoulders, and I was like, that's awesome. Like, I'm glad that that's actually something. And he goes, we're talking back and forth, and he's actually, like, saying Bible verses and, like, kind of referencing the Bible to me, and he just seemed like so happy. I don't know if I've ever like talked to him about anything like this, but he just seemed really happy. So he goes, I'm so glad. He kept saying, I'm so glad that you're telling me about this. And I was just like, he's glad that I'm talking about something. I was like, well, that's wild, because I don't ever feel like people always are like have their opinions on talking about religion and stuff. So I've always just tried to be as quiet as possible. And he goes, we get close to the end of the appointment, and he goes, can I pray for you? Because I've been telling him that I've been struggling with nicotine, with drinking, with pot, stuff like that. And he goes, can I pray for you? And I bowed my head, and he said a prayer for me. And I've never been so, like, vulnerable in my life, because for the first time, I, like, feel like I can finally cry and not have to be like, oh, you can't cry, you're not a man if you don't cry. And I just completely and utterly broke down in front of my doctor. And that's not even the craziest part, but that was something that I never thought I would see, is a doctor praying for somebody. And I was like, this is actually crazy that a doctor that practices medicine, for some reason in my mind, it's like a disconnect. It's like, if you practice medicine and stuff, there's a lot of people that like think that it's only science, not God. And then he was like, after the prayer was over, I was like, can I give you a hug? Because I was in tears, like trying to hold back the emotion as much as possible. And he goes, yeah, of course, man, of course. And I just really was scared to death to do this. I was like, I don't know. I had a million anxieties that tried to talk me out of it, or what it was, but the fact that it seemed like it brought him so much joy and happiness just has solidified my thoughts on trying to talk about it more, even if I shouldn't be scared of it. What's the worst that could happen? Even if I am attacked by people or beaten up by people for believing, so what? I get to see God at the end of the tunnel. At the end of my life, I get to see God. So that's why I've been living for God. And really a lot of different stuff I've been watching. I watched George Janko's podcast where he talked to two pastors, well, a pastor and a kid. And they were just trying to debunk famous, sinful questions, I guess, or whatever. And it's a little silly, but it definitely has like a strong message behind it, and I think that like really helped me in watching that last night. So I will recommend that down below. I wouldn't say it's for everybody just because of the humor and like the jokes and stuff, but I think in light of everything that he was joking about, it was from a good place. So I recommend watching that. Yeah, God is good, God is great. I am so thankful. I hope you guys can take something from this story. I don't know what it may be, but hopefully you guys can take anything from this story. I love you. Love every single one of you guys. I'll see you in the next one. As always, God bless.